Hi, welcome to another episode of Mr. Kung Has Options, where I try to impart some advice about some technological or instructional moves that I've made that I think might be helpful after having solved them maybe one time or solved them in a way that I think is helpful for me. I'm going to share those with you as you try to make sense of new tools like Jamboard. So my second question in Jamboard was, now that I've created templates, I know how I can create quickly an empty board or a board with the same activity on 8 different slides, or I know how I could create a custom board where I've got each group has its own slide. Now the question is, how can I merge those two things together? How can I create a board that has the same activity on every page, on every board, but it has a different group assigned to each of the different boards? How can I do that? And that's how I tried to solve this. I'll show you how I tried to solve this problem. Again, I am using my iPad and the Jamboard app. So your mileage may vary, working on a Chromebook. And I should say that this technique that I use in this one does not work on at least the Windows version of Chrome as you work on Jamboards that way. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up the Jamboard app, and this time I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to get the same activity, this activity that I've set up here, I'm going to try to get that out to 8 different groups, but for each of the boards there needs to be this element that's the same and an element that's different. So let me walk you through how I solved that problem. One of the things I did was I decided I was going to create a blank board here, and I was going to add my group images there. So I'm going to go ahead and add each of those. There's group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, oops, duplicated, nuts, group 4, group 5, group 6, group 7, and group 8. And really, this is the point at which I'd want to save the template, because I want to have a template where on one slide I've got all of my groups, all 8 of my groups, and on the other slide I have my activity, whatever that activity is going to be. And let me show you how I went ahead and created those. So if you start with this template, and agreed, this can be set up in advance, and this is going to be whatever your lesson requires for that day. But if we get to it at this point, I want to show you how long it takes to create exactly what I was talking about, which is customized versions of the same problem for all 8 groups. So I'm going to go ahead and set a timer and then go ahead and do that work. Here's what I did. I went ahead and I duplicated. I need to have 8 copies of the same problem. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. And I want to go ahead and I want to look at my group slides on here at the end. And I'm going to do something here which is kind of cool, which is I'm going to take group 1, oops, and I am going to drag that, oops, I'm going to drag that to slide 1. And group 2, I'm going to drag to slide 2, and 3 to slide 3, and 4 to 4, and 5 to 5, and 6 to 6, and 7 to 7, and 8 to 8. And actually, now that I'm done with slide 9, I can delete it. Let's go back and take a look at each of those. Here's slide 1. All I need to do is move my group thing off to the corner, and now I have group 1 all ready to go. Group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, group 7, and group 8. I have now exactly what I said I wanted. That took me from start to finish 1 minute and 18 seconds, 78 seconds, to get from one activity and my template of all 8 groups sitting on a slide on one of those boards to my new situation, which is I have a customized board for every single group with the exact same problem on every single one of them. That's pretty awesome and pretty fast. On my last video, I'm going to talk about my last video of this series. I'm going to talk about why I set up the groups the way I did, not with these particular students, but why I used the colors and everything that I used to do this work in exactly this way. Great, thanks.